Good morning, YouTube. Wow. Good morning, JL, and good morning, Ryan D. Good morning and welcome. I'm just going to do this quickly because I just noticed something. Um, hey, Monk Chip, good morning. Deb Shane, good morning. Patricia Ellington, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Well, uh, I wake up this morning to see a response from Jay Wilson. Um, I'm going to start by saying this. Mr. Jay Wilson. um, hmm. One of the things I do my best not to do is to get involved in this adolescent shenanigans that's going back and forth. So I'm only going to say this, and I'm only going to say it once. Maybe when you checked, I might have been unblocked. However, I could not on your in your live last night. I could not comment after I had made several comments to you. And again, it costs nothing to sit back and listen. Every we don't always need to respond, or we don't always need to um, answer. I guess maybe that's what I want to say. Um, in my observation, you're riding this train, and there were points that keep coming up. And in my observation, sir, you are not listening. All I was trying to do, especially with one of the statements that you made that I commented on, and that comment was step out of the Aries and step into the spirit and let the spirit deal with you on the matter. Okay. We have to practice what we preach, even when it's uncomfortable, to be more effective and to reach people. And, Brother, you should know this. Okay. You should know that in order to reach people, there are sometimes when we have to not allow our feelings to run amok. And again, I say this time and time again, you cannot listen, you cannot think and feel at the same time. Now, I was not even going to say anything about the on my platform about the situation. Um, but wait a minute, I'm going a little ahead of myself. Let me say this, Jay. I was attacked in your live last night. I was attacked, and I didn't attack back. I didn't attack back. I didn't go in on the people that were coming for me. And then uh, in all of that, and I did say something to you in your chat about it. I said that I will not stand for being disrespected in your chat. Now, I wasn't going to disrespect or be disrespectful in your chat. Okay. However, the last time I was making a point uh, or making a comment, whatever, I could not make the comment. So I'm not assuming. I just felt that I was blocked because I could not make the comment. The comment would not, So uh, at that point, especially after the way you came at me, let me say this to you, Jay Wilson, my brother. I have got 10 years on you. So where you are going, I've already been. So do me a favor, and those people that you talk to as if they're children, it's unacceptable with me. We are both grown men. And I said to you several times, we need to have a conversation. We need to talk. However, you're a busy man. I get that. I'm not busy or as busy because I'm retired. However, I am between, at this point, Virginia and West Virginia every single day because of my mom. All right? Now, and let me say this. My daughter and I listened to part of your Sunday sermon yesterday. And from one preacher to another, it reminded me of the services I used to go to back in the day when the preachers would get up and completely throw off on people and make their message indirectly directed at somebody else other than the message really having anything to do with drawing someone to Christ. In other words, it was a throw off and it was nothing but shade. Okay? Stop gooping the children, I believe it was. Sir, you have a PhD. You have been to seminary. And no, it's disappointing for me, I'm speaking for me, and in my observation, it's disappointing for me to sit up and listen to a message that is built upon anger and it's being exhibited. Nothing but emotion is preaching. That is not a sound word. That is not a sound word. You may have felt better because of whatever the issue you're dealing with. And I understand because, first of all, we've all gained weight. Okay. I haven't been able to keep up with what I needed to do. And I've gained a little weight back. But those things are things that we can work on without being emotional, without taking it out on other people. Now, the situation was the young lady kept saying to you that it wasn't the money. It was how she perceived it. Now, let me say this. My whole issue came in with the yelling. And yelling as if people were children. Now, I do agree that sometimes you handle things in public that happen in public. But just like you say, they could have called you, there are other avenues that you could have went without demeaning someone. And listen, abuse is not calling people names, okay? And you should know this because you've been to school. And you kept saying, I gave them what they wanted. You kept saying, I gave them what they wanted, drama. I gave them drama. I wasn't, I wasn't in the mix. So I'm only going by what you said. My question was, why? Why would you give them drama if that is your vlog daughter and your vlog granddaughter? Or even if you're giving them drama, why would you do it like that? Why would you try to belittle someone on a public platform with the yelling? And again, with all that emotion, you're feeling and you're not listening. You cannot hear, you cannot think. Now, and see, I know that even though I came from the house of Jay Wilson, that if you have watched any of my videos, you didn't get it. Because the last Wednesday word, there was a suggestion which was prophetic to the T. It was prophetic to the T. And what I suggest is that you begin to practice is this. When you get into a situation where your emotion begins to run away with you, take 30 to 60 minutes and do what is called kibis. Keep your big yap shut so that you can regroup and regroup, rethink, and come from a different angle. Because remember, the perception that you have, what you have portrayed is that you have self-control and that you are a critical thinker. Now, when it comes to emotional intelligence in that situation, you did not use emotional intelligence. And you felt it okay, and you continue to justify your behavior. However, your behavior has forsaken you. It has forsaken you. Your behavior has shown a part of you that exists that is out of control, that you don't have control over. Now, again, I am 10 years your senior. And where you're going with the 50 thing, being almost 50, please understand that this is a point when you get to 50, there are things that are transitions that you make. And if there's no one to share with you, no one to help you, no one to school you, these are some of the behaviors in my observation. Again, I've been there, but I had people around me that were able to school me on transitioning from 40s into 50. Because at that time, you begin to look back at your life in retrospect and all the things you didn't accomplish that you wanted to accomplish. Okay? That's when you really begin to realize that the millionaire that you wanted to be, you have not become. And it can be quite difficult to stomach. It's a transition. And again, if you don't have anybody that's been through it to help you understand what's going on, these behaviors show in your interactions with other people. Now, understand this, and I make this plain in almost every video that I do. I am not disappointed, Mr. Wilson, because in order for me to be disappointed, I would have had to have had some unreal expectation of you. And that I did not have. Now, I had respect for you, and I appreciated you because of the things you shared. And let me say this to whoever Still Babe is. You don't know me. You don't know where I'm from. You don't know my flexibility. Okay, you don't know how long I've been on YouTube. So for you to come at me in a disrespect like you did in Jay's chat last night was really infantile. I don't know how old you are, but you can't be older than 15 on here, which is an age. Well, at least that's your mentality. Unnecessary. All of that was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. I don't know you, and if you're a troll, that is someone else that I've had an interaction with. I'm sure the interaction was not negative, but however, that's how people are on YouTube. In my observation, a lot of you are like vultures. When everything is going fine, you're great. But when people have a disagreement, you circle in like vultures waiting to pick the carcass of the deceased. And again, I say, this is not another nationality. This is not another sector. These are the people that say, we're all Black. I'm missing something here. It gives you pleasure and it makes you feel satisfaction in attacking someone in a chat who is not attacking you. Now, let me say this, since I'm on my own platform. Let me say this. This platform is not a conflict channel. This platform is not conflict. This is not junior high school, nor is it high school. This is for adults and those that are aspiring to broaden their mind, broaden their perspective. That's what this channel is for. So let me put this out. There will be no disrespect on my channel. Everyone has the ability on this channel to say their piece. However, in respect of themselves and respect of others. And as a matter of fact, if you're not coming here to receive or to share information, you're coming here for conflict, Don't come on this page. Don't click on it. Don't even be in the bushes. Because I know some people right now that are in the bushes that are going to report back. Let me tell you something. Nobody on here is my daddy. Nobody on here is my mama. No one is going to tell me how to run my platform subliminally or otherwise. Now, back to Brother Jay. When you are so emotional in your chat that you're not paying attention that people are being attacked, and you just speak, because if you had seen what was going on last night, certain individuals would have been blocked or timed out because of their blatant disrespect. And your moderators would have taken care of that because they are a reflection of you. However, again, I will say this again. The last comment that I was going to make before I left, I could not make the comment. So I sent you an email. At that point, I did not feel welcome. And again, what you said to me last night, you said to me that I hadn't experienced. You don't know what I've experienced. You cannot speak on my bank account if you haven't seen my bank book. So you can't tell me what I haven't experienced. Okay? And that superiority attitude is the problem. I don't have a problem with it. But just observe. You hear what people are saying about you. You hear what people are saying about you. And I stayed silent about a lot of things, Brother Jay. Even the point when you did the slick shade to me, when you were saying, well, I don't know if Johnny Mack is from the House of Wilson. First of all, let me say this. I don't know if that phrasing if that phraseology is in kinship to Pose or the houses from back in the day. I'm not sure what that's about or the connection. But again, for me, if that's how you want to deal, that's fine. But remember, you have to be consistent. And I mean, not just with your videos, but you have to be consistent. Your behavior and your words have to line up. Okay? Because what people have a tendency to do is to peep into who you are by what you say and how you behave. Your behavior will always forsake what you say. Because we have a tendency to get very comfortable in what we say, and we become a little more loose. But let me get off of that. I just the House of Wisdom thing just seems more like it's a house for the balls. Okay, that's what I get from that. And again, it is saying something that you're saying that you're not. You're saying that you're not this, but you're using so much terminology to contradict. Let me put that right there, to contradict everything else that you say. Okay. However, um, again, maybe it's a way of relating. And then that goop the children phrase. Goop the children. And for so long, you had made this issue of not letting sexuality lead, not letting, what one does in one's bedroom, keeping that private. Well, now that you have um, let people know that you are who you are, why are we still using these terminologies that, well, maybe that's just, the way I look at it or the way I observe it. But again, I will say this, Brother Jay. Uh, we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree. And see, that's the wonderful thing about being adult and being secure in who you are. I don't have to agree with you to respect you. As a matter of fact, I have this thing where I respect individuals a little bit more when we can disagree. When we can actually disagree, but not fall out. Now, I will say this: if I was blocked by any of your moderators, then I suggest that you check your moderators, because this is not the first time. This is not the first time that this has happened. Okay? Let me say that to you. This is not the first time. There was another time, and it was during the Sunday service, and someone was cutting up in the chat while you were going on. I was commenting on the things that you were saying in agreement, and I was timed out, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it. So at this point, this is the second strike. Okay, this is the second strike, because I've been supportive from day one, all the way back before Tracy launched her page. Okay, before I was Johnny Mac 365, I was subscribed. But I I get it. I get it. If I'm not that important, it's not a problem. May not be important to you. However, I love that word. I'm important to me, and I'm important to the people that care about me. Okay? Now, this is not a back and forth, because I'm not going to do this with you. Okay? This is not going to be a Timothy Blaine and Jay Wilson type scenario. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Whatever you're going through, you need to take some time and get it together. I'm sitting back and I am observing several individuals burn out and have nervous breakdowns right here on YouTube. And I don't think that's what what this tool should be about. Okay? I don't think that's what this YouTube should be about. And let me say this, and maybe I'm overstepping my bounds and I may lose some subscribers. If that's the case, then so be it. But whatever your issue is with Sean Bradley, would you please get over it? Because there's not a, in almost every conversation, it's in either directly or indirectly, there's something that comes up about Sean Bradley. Now, in my observation, and I have said this, human nature is that when we admire somebody, instead of saying to them that we admire them or that we are attracted to them, what we tend to do is to do the opposite. However, we do things to keep getting attention. I don't know why or how Sean Bradley is in your system, but my brother, you really need to handle that because it's become redundant. It has become redundant and it's become sickening to a lot of people that are watching. Well, let me not speak for a lot of people. Let me speak for myself. It has become, actually, it has become, in my observation, it has become sad. Because all of a sudden, a lot of your content just whatever you come on with, it reverts back to that man over there or Mr. Bradley. Would you please move on? There's so many other things to do. Reconcile whatever it is you need to reconcile to move on. I'm just not understanding. And then you have people subscribe to you that are looking up to you. And it gives people the green light to attack. Again, if the head is doing this, what do you expect the tail to be doing, sir? If the head is doing it, what do you think the tail is doing? The tail is going to follow the head. So your subscribers are going to do what they see you do because it gives them your behavior. Your action gives them permission and makes them comfortable in attacking. Oh, I don't like Sean Bradley. And why should anybody have to choose? Just because you don't get along with an individual doesn't mean that everybody else can't get along with them. I'm not getting that. What were your experiences growing up? Are you territorial? And then I understand being forgiving. I get that. But just because I forgive you don't mean I need you up in my face. And your chat was full of those people who just a few days ago were reaming you a new one, saying all kinds of things about you. And then they're in your chat and you're just giving them praise. I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding that. And then maybe it's not for me to understand. As long as you understand it, it is okay. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I will not be disrespected in your chat nor anyone else's. I will not stand for that. Like I said, I've come too far in my life to allow someone that doesn't count to disrespect me. And in the event that I'm being disrespected in your chat, that means you are disrespecting me. And that's not going to happen. Not. Do understand that. Do understand that. I'll say it one more time, Mr. Wilson. Where you are going, I have already been, bruh. Okay? So from this point on, the ball is in your court. And if you want to apologize, the floor is open. You don't even have to do it. You don't even have to do it publicly. And then again, you can send me an email. I sent you one last night. You have the opportunity. The ball is in your court. Now, I'm going to say this again. I didn't come on here for the foolishness. I'm not here for it. You know, I hear this phrase that you have used a couple of times. Well, I'm here for it today. Why? That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to enjoy YouTube. I'm here to learn something. I'm here to share. That's what I came on here for. And please understand me again. Let me reiterate and recapitulate for your understanding. I am not disappointed, Mr. Wilson, because I've had no unreal expectation of you. So therefore, my feelings are not hurt. I'm just saying, bruh, get it together. Get it together. Pull it together. If you need to sit out for a couple of days to regroup and recharge and revive, do that. Give your mind a little rest. Okay? Okay. Now, everybody in this chat, please understand, I'm not going in on Mr. Wilson. I'm just answering. What I woke up to this morning. I've got too much on my plate, too much I'm doing, running back and forth with my mom. I don't have time for the foolishness, but I'll make time for this because it deals with disrespect. It deals with disrespect. And again, it deals with accountability. And you need to be accountable and stop trying to excuse your behavior and reason out. Now, an excuse, let me tell you what an excuse is. An excuse is nothing more than reason stuffed with a lie. Let me say that again. A reason Reason is nothing more than an excuse stuffed with a lie. Okay? Yes, you have a legitimate reason for being annoyed, but you're using it as an excuse, which is not real. It feels good. And let me say this, that yelling might have felt good to you, but it wasn't good for you. Because again, even though that young lady might have misunderstood or misperceived or whatever the issue was, as the individual that portrays an image that you portray and that uh, you constantly tell people to do, you did not do. The Bible says, come, let us reason together. It did not say, come yelling and disrespecting. And yes, Mr. Wilson, it was abuse. It was abuse. You don't have to curse to abuse an individual. I don't know. Now that, when you said that the other night, that really got me to looking at you. And I wasn't looking side-eyed. I was looking completely with both eyes, just like this. You, because you didn't call them B's and H's. However, the emotion was the same. The emotion was exactly the same. Your yelling was to demean. It was to demean. And not once did you listen, because the issue was not that you gave your money. That wasn't the issue. And that is the common thread. You kept saying, ain't nobody gonna tell me where I can give money, and nobody's talking about that. So I was confused. I was confused that you were going there and you kept that narrative going. So you were spinning a narrative that didn't exist. Roll the tape. Do the playback. There was something that you were dealing with within yourself. And this was an opportunity to express it recklessly. You did not maintain control of your emotions. You did not. And then you are saying that the reason why you did it was because that's what they wanted. And so you gave them what they wanted. I'm not going to say make it make sense, because nonsense in my life will never make sense. And I'm not going to try to make sense of it. That's not what I do. Nonsense is nonsense. Nonsense is nonsense. As there is no sense that I'm spending, nor are there dollars that I'm spending to make it make sense. Okay? Now, listen, I'm going to say this, and I want everybody to hear this, and please get this in your spirit. I love everybody. I don't hate anyone. But please understand, and please get this down. If you have to write it down and stick it to your forehead so that you'll see it when you look in the mirror. I will not be disrespected. I will not be disrespected. And anytime I'm in anybody's chat and I am disrespected, it is a direct reflection on whoever's platform it is. I don't disrespect anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't disrespect people. If I'm going to, and I will tell you, if I'm saying something to someone, it is to get clarity. It is to get clarity. And it's usually in a question form or making a statement. Now, if we kick in the Willy Bobo and we all, the atmosphere, I will say things that are funny. But I'm not out here to destroy nobody. I'm not out here to hurt nobody. I'm not out here. I'm not on these YouTube streets. I'm not on here to get subscribers by fighting with people. Because listen, you know that old saying that they say, how you got them is how you lose them. How you get them is how you lose them. And whatever you did to get them, you have to keep it up. The sad part is that you can't always keep up the craziness when you got them by being crazy, by being disrespectful. It's not going to work. Because again, all that's going to run out. You'll burn yourself out. Just look around you. Just observe on these YouTube streets of the individuals that came on here with a great punch. And when you look at them now, they look burnt out. They look half crazy. Every time they come on and talk, it's like, what are you talking about? I digress. So this is for Mr. Wilson. And I'm only going to say this. In response, not in retaliation, in response. Because again, because I was unable to make my last comment before I was leaving your chat, which was just to say, I am out of here. Because the disrespect of one of your vlog children you allowed. That's what I'm saying. You allowed me to be attacked, and then I could not make the comment. So therefore, there was no reason for me to stay. And that's what, and do me a favor, don't ask my brother, all right? Because this is what you did. You got on here and said, I heard from QB. Well, before you got on that and made that video last night, why didn't you reach out to me? So now here we go full circle. Your behavior has forsaken you. You could have reached out to me via email. Hello. You could have reached out to me via email and dealt with this behind the scenes rather than getting on. You could have told me yourself without having my name in the title. You're the vlog father. Again, observing the behavior. Observing the behavior. Like I said, young man, you got a long way to go and a short time to do it. Got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. Hmm. You got quite a bit of catching up to do. You have quite a bit of learning to do because some things you have not learned. Or let me say this, you have not practiced, you have not implemented. And again, you can't do the work if you don't have the tools. Okay? Now, again, I'm not fighting with you. I just want to school you a little bit, young man. Okay? Now, I'm going to pull rank on you. I'm going to pull rank on you. You've done well. You've done well. You've achieved some things. However, young buck, sit down and get some learning. Get yourself in check. Get yourself in check. I'm not angry with you. And again, I'm not disappointed because I had no unreal expectation of you. So, all of those that are disappointed in Jay Wilson, I'm really sorry. But again, if you hear me, if you listen to me, hopefully you learn. Unreal expectation only brings disappointment. And again, this is not to bash Jay Wilson. It is not a bash. It is not a bash. Wherein he was instrumental in encouraging me or motivating me to start my own platform. So he would basically be my mentor. However, however, and then too, um, a lot of the stuff that I've been learning on here has not come from Jay Wilson. It has come from trial and error. So in my case, he has not been a hands-on vlog father. Let's face it. Again, remember, let me bring something back to y'all remembrance for whoever was in that chat. And I don't know, maybe he was joking when he said it, but it could have been taken to it could have been taken offensively. I don't know if Johnny Mac is part of uh, the house of Jay Wilson. Okay. And if anybody that has been with me day one, you all know that I made one of my first uploaded videos in the beginning were to Jay Wilson, Tracy Living My Truth, D. Ramsey, James Colwell. Okay? In the very beginning. I'm one that believes in giving honor where honor is due. But if I observe that I'm not being treated correctly, mm-mm, mm-mm. Now again, we can rectify this. We can rectify this because there really is no hard feelings. Again, I'm not pressed. So, Brother Jay, we can we can we don't have an issue. Let me say that. We don't have an issue. However, if you want to resolve the situation, hit me up on my email. Because again, This is not. Mm-mm. This ain't it. This ain't it. I appreciate everyone that has come in. I know I didn't call your names. Felicia Fee, fried cabbage, and canned yams. Ooh. Queen Lewis, all of you, I appreciate you coming in this morning because I really was not going to do. I was not going to do a live. However, I'm when I saw that this morning, it really needed to be, it needed to be said. I felt it needed to be said, and if I feel it needs to be said, then I'm gonna say it. you know, um, Again, higher thinking. Ron Price, good morning. I appreciate you coming in. I and it's one thing you'll never find. Only one jury by Ray Allen. Thank you for being here. Ron Price, you know how I feel about you. Um, I can't deal. Good morning, I can't deal. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you stopping in. Cynthia Jones. Cynthia Jones, good morning. Little Miss Nisi P. Is that what it says? Nisi Pie. Good morning, Miss Nisi Pie. Doppy, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I'll be driving, from here going up to going up to the rehab center. I appreciate everyone that has been um, praying for my strength and praying for my mother's recovery. I have to say that I thank you all, and that, some of us may think that people on YouTube don't really care and all that kind of stuff, or, and you ask them, and I didn't even ask anybody to pray for me. And people were volunteering, saying that we got you. We're praying for you. We're praying for your mom. Um, Today is Monday, right? Okay. My mother will be discharged tomorrow morning. Okay. My mother is walking. My mother is um, going to the bathroom by herself, and she's ready to come home. So they are discharging her tomorrow. And I appreciate all of you that prayed for me and prayed for my situation. Prayer does work. I am a product of prayer working. Um, so I appreciate you all. And again, I thank you all so much, okay, that prayed and that could get a prayer through. Lady Lydia, good morning. Praise report is my mom will be walking out of the rehab on tomorrow morning. And I've been celebrating ever since, I found out. And here is how we should always be. Let me say this. And I've noticed this whenever my mother has been in the hospital or what have you. In this rehab, people are sad that she's leaving because she has been such a blessing. My mother has pastored for years, and um, she's always drawn people, and she's always been able to um, effect and affect people's life and infect people's lives with love. The Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. Okay. And sometimes it gets a little, for me, it would get a little annoying um, that she would give so much to people. But in the bottom line is that she has been such a blessing more to them than the rehabilitation center has been to her. And now they're like, oh my God, we don't want you to leave. We don't want you to leave because you're such a ray of sun. You have changed the atmosphere of this place. Let me say this to all of you. Whenever you go into a place, you ought to have the power to change the atmosphere from whatever it is. You ought to be able to change the atmosphere. You bring your atmosphere with you. So if your atmosphere is depressed, if it is evil, if it is conniving, you bring that atmosphere with you. But if you have an atmosphere of love and kindness and to be a blessing to someone, you will change the atmosphere, and people in that atmosphere will serve you. They will want to be around you. They will want to be blessed by you. Good morning, Tracy. Welcome, Tracy. Oh my gosh, I'm honored. Tracy is in my chat. Tracy's in the house. Tracy's in the house. Tracy's in the house. They mad, y'all. They mad. They mad, y'all. They mad. Why they mad, y'all? Good morning, Tracy. Thank you for being here. Freddie P28, good morning and welcome. Mimi, good morning. Holly Q, I'm so glad to see you. You change the atmosphere. You control your atmosphere. No one should control your atmosphere. And, you know, I mean, I had to laugh at myself last night when I was being attacked in Brother Jay's live, because I know me. You know, I have a PhD in reading, writing, and arithmetic. I am the czar of shade. Okay. I know how to read. I grew up in New York. I hung out with the children. So I know how to read. Good morning, D. Ramsey. Good morning. Welcome, D. Ramsey. I know how to read. One of the things that I perfected in my youth was I kept my tongue sharp. I kept it sharp, ready to cut like a two-edged sword, cutting between the bone and the marrow. However, we grow up, but we don't forget and we don't lose the skill. But that's not what I was about in that chat. So again, anytime someone disrespects you in someone's chat, it is a direct reflection on the person whose chat it is. And it is their responsibility in their house to make sure that if they want a peaceful environment, to set those boundaries. And if anybody violates the boundaries, then you press that button and send them to the block party or block nation or block island. It's up to you. But when we allow people in the chat to run our platform, this is what we get. And then instead of reaching out, and I really have to, you know, I know I'm going back into this, but I really have to bring this home. just like you said, those girls could have contacted you behind the scene. You made a video with my name in it. You could have reached out via email because you have my email, because I sent you an email. So you could have gotten my email from that email if you didn't have it pasted or have it in, in your contacts, and you could have we could have exchanged numbers, if you will, or what have you, and discussed it. So again, your behavior, Mr. J. Wilson, your behavior has forsaken you. And I'm saying this out of concern and out of an observation. Okay? So now I do not expect, well, you don't come over here and watch my videos, no way. But for those that are in the bushes that's going to take it back, QB, are you there? Because you got this news that you do, QB. I'm not expecting to hear another video, because grown men, we're not going to do that. I'm not Sean Bradley, where you do all of that stuff. You have something to say to me, Mr. Wilson, say it to me. Okay? Again, say it to me. I am not a child, and you are my junior. Okay? You are my junior. So let's do this right. Thank you. But again, I thank everyone for coming in. And Miss Crum, welcome. I appreciate everybody that has come into this live. Again, it was not, Sexy and Complete, welcome. Good morning. Top of the world, top of the wonderful day to you too. Cynthia Jones, I appreciate everybody. And I was glad to see Tracy in here. Thank you, Tracy, for coming by, because every time I hear from you, it's always an encouragement, and I appreciate that. And D. Ramsey, all the content creators this morning, all the content creators that are in here this morning, I appreciate you. You motivate me, and I learn something from everybody that I'm connected to on YouTube. And I really appreciate you all. Felicia Fee, I thank you so much. Every time I look up, you're there. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Good morning, Deborah. Miss Deborah, good morning. Holly Q again. Holly Q, thank you. You're another one that every time I see you someplace, I'm always motivated and encouraged by your presence, your YouTube presence. Monica Love and Ron Price, you know how I feel about you. Eddie Peeler, welcome. Good morning. Well, thank you so much, all of you. And like I always say, much love to you all. More love than your mind can conceive, more love than your heart can feel, and much more love than your hands can hold. I wish you love. Wow, I remember that song. But most of all, I wish you, I wish you, I wish you, oh, it's early in the morning. I wish you love. Everybody have a monumental Monday. Love you all. Thank you. God bless.